How are you guys doing? How is your day going? How's your day turning out? I want to have a quick session, a quick talk, as usual with us. So this is gonna be a very I hope it's gonna be a quick one, but it might just spill over a little bit. But I hope it is. This is not the our planned live for later in the evening. No, this is one of those impromptu lives. And I do hope this will talk to us very much. All right, friends, listen to me. Some of you you're not tired because you're doing too much. You're tired because you're trying to control what was never yours to control. You're trying to control timing. You're trying to control outcomes. You're trying to control people's opinion. You're trying to control someone else's healing. You're trying to control the past. You're trying to control you know, whatever they finally see, whatever you finally see your heart. And it's draining you because you're trying to control what is not even yours to control in the first place. And the dangerous kind of stress is that stress that comes from fighting what you can't fix. Hey, Nema, how are you? Thanks for joining. That stress that comes from fighting what you can't fix. So tonight, I want to talk about something simple, but it will change your life if you really catch the whole drift. Focus on what you can control. Focus on only what you can control and stop donating your energy to what you can't control. Stop donating your energy. Just focus on what you can control. I want that message to sink because a lot of people dissipate their energy on things they can't control, things that are outside their reach. And they keep on dissipating their energy, which would have been channeled towards what they can control. That is why this talk is titled Focus on What You Can Control. I want you to feel the word, not as a demand, but as a return of power, as a return of peace, as a return of clarity. Focus on what you can control. Stop dissipating your energy on what you can't control. Now, let me say something carefully, friends. Dreams are not the problem. Dreams are beautiful. Dreams are vision. Dreams are hope. All right? Dreams are the preview of what could be. But a lot of people are stuck, not because they don't have dreams. Hello, thanks for joining. Not because they don't have dreams. They are stuck because they have only dreams, only dreams. They live in imagination, but they don't live in execution. And there's a difference between a dreamer and an overachiever. A dreamer says, one day I'll do it. An overachiever says, today I'll do something about it. A dreamer says, when I feel ready, I'll do it. An overachiever says, I will become ready through repetition. A dreamer wants certainty. An overachiever wants structure. And the overachiever lives by one question only. What can I control today? That question, my friend, that question will save you. It will make your focus sharper. It will make your answers come faster because your focus will be on what you can control and you let the other things slide. Let me try and make this personal. If you like, those of you that know my channel, you know that most of the time I try to make it more personal and relatable as much as possible. Let me try to make this personal. There was a season where I would wake up by 3 a.m., 2 a.m. ish, not because an alarm went off, but because my mind went off. And I would lay there or sit there staring at the ceiling, thinking about everything. Thinking about the bills, thinking about family, thinking about work pressure, thinking about future plans, thinking about what if this doesn't work? What if I'm behind? What if people don't understand me? What if I do the work and it still doesn't work? And I remember one night, I sat in the bed and I said, and I said this out loud. I said it very loud. Why can't I just rest? Why? I told myself, Matt, why can't you just rest? Why? And something hit me very strong, but very quiet. I wasn't losing sleep because I had no faith. I was losing sleep because I was trying to control outcomes instead of controlling inputs. I was focusing on the things I couldn't control instead of focusing on the things I could control. See, I wanted certainty, right? But life doesn't give certainty. Life doesn't do that. So I started asking myself, what can I do about this today? And sometimes the answer was humbling. Things like as simple as make the call, as simple as write a plan, face the budget, fix that habit, set the boundary, stop scrolling on the internet and wasting your time. Go to sleep like an adult. Go to sleep. Pray with someone who you trust. Open up and pray with someone who you trust. And that question began to bring me back. That question brought me back. What can I focus on today that is within my control? What can I focus on today that is why am I trying to manipulate the outcome while I forget about the input? Why am I so concerned about the outcome while I forget about the input? That means I was focusing on the things I couldn't control instead of the ones I could control. Let's draw the line here. Let's draw the line. What are the things that you can control? You might ask me, Matt, what can you control? You can control things like your habit. You can control your attitude. You can control your discipline. You can control your effort. You can control your preparation. You can control your words, your integrity. You can control your boundaries. You can control your health choices. You can control your consistency. What about those things that you can't control? You can't control other people's decisions. You can't control other people's emotions. You can't control the past. It's gone. You can't control time. You can't control how fast results come. You can't control whether people clap, whether they love what you do, whether it resonates with them. You can't control that. You can't control whether people understand you. You can't control that. You can't control whether people change, whether they accept what you say. And if you keep mixing these categories, you will live in frustration. I tell you, if you keep mixing what you can control and what you can't control, you will live in frustration because you will keep trying to win life in a lane you don't even have access to. You keep trying to be a player in a game you're not even part of. See, tonight we're going to separate what is yours to manage from what is yours to release. There are some things that you don't give a hoot about it. How it happens is not in your control. So don't dwell there. Don't dissipate your energy on that. But there are some things that, yes, you control. Because those things, they are within your purview to control. Let me slow down here a little bit, all right? Because I can feel somebody wrestling with this thought. This isn't about, there's no motivation here. This is not about motivation. This is about weight. Most people aren't breaking down because they are weak. They are breaking down because they are carrying responsibilities that don't belong to them. Let me tell you a story, all right? I think that will give you some insight into what we're talking about. There was a season in my life where I looked fine on the outside. But inside, I was one phone call away from falling apart. I was doing what adults do, showing up, handling business, smiling when I needed to smile. But my mind was running a marathon every day. And I remember this particular day, no fireworks, no dramatic scene. It was just heavy. I had responsibility that felt like a mountain. People needed answers. Decision needed to be made. Timelines were tight. Money had to stretch. Family needed attention. But somewhere in all of that, I was supposed to be okay. See, I drove somewhere, parked the car, turned off the engine. Everything went silent. And I just looked out at the windshield like my life was paused. And my thoughts were still loud. And do you know what I was thinking, friends? I was thinking about things I couldn't control. What people would decide. Whether timing would work. Whether a door would open. Whether someone will finally understand me. Whether my effort will pay off. Whether the future will punish me for the past. I was dwelling on things I couldn't control. And I realized I wasn't planning anymore. I was panicking. I was leading I was leading myself to nowhere. I was only reacting. Then I felt this conviction, very quiet, but condemning, but not condemning, but very clear. You are trying to be responsible for outcomes. That was what I felt in my head and in my mind. I was trying to be responsible for outcomes. And I whispered back, yeah, because I don't want to fail. I don't want to fail. And I felt it again. This time, the conviction was, you can't control outcomes. You can only control obedience. You can only control effort. You can only control preparation. You can't control outcomes. That moment felt like somebody taking a backpack off my shoulder. Because I had been living like, if it doesn't work, it means I'm not enough. But sometimes it doesn't work because timing isn't aligned. Sometimes it doesn't work because people are people. Humans will always be human. Sometimes it doesn't work because life had layers you can't see. So I opened my phone my notepad, and I started writing. I wrote two things that day, two headings. What I can control, what I can't control. Now, what is it that I can control? My preparation, my consistency, my integrity, the call I need to make, the plan I need to write, the budget I need to face, the apology I need to give, the boundary I need to set, my sleep, my health, my prayer, my attitude. These I could control. These I could control. But what is it that I can't control? I can't control the final decision. I can't control the speed of results. I can't control how people interpret me. I can't control whether they clap. I can't control whether they love what I'm doing. I can't control whether they change. I can't control the past. I can't control the economy. I can't control other people's maturity. I can't. And when I saw what I've written down, I laughed. I laughed. Not because it was funny, because it was obvious. I had been bleeding my energy into the second list. I've been trying to control other people's outcomes. Every day, trying to win argument in my head, trying to forecast every possibility, trying to play all scenarios in my head, trying to guarantee an outcome. And in that car, I said something I've never forgotten. I am done trying to manage what God did not assign to me. I'm done trying to be the El Shaddai. I'm done trying to be the one that carries the load for everyone. I'm done trying to be the one that manages outcomes. There and then I prayed, not fancy, Not fancy, something simple. I just said, God, give me the strength to do what I can do today. Give me the strength that I need to do all that I can do for today. And give me the wisdom to release what I cannot control. I felt my chest loosen. I felt like a heavy weight was taken off me. This was not because the problem vanished, but because my posture changed. I stopped trying to control the whole future and I started controlling the next step. Only the next step, focusing on what I can control. See, some of you need that parking lot moment. Not because you're dramatic, but because you are human. You need to sit in that parking lot and ask yourself, what is it I can't control that I'm trying to control? What is it that is beyond my purview that I'm trying to control? You don't need to carry the whole staircase. You don't need to see. What you just need to do is to take the next step. Now that we have felt that, let's put structure around it. Because freedom without structure is temporary. So here's the truth, friends. A lot of anxiety is not mysterious. A lot of anxiety that people go through is not mysterious. It is mismanaged control. Your mind is screaming, stop spending energy on something you can't influence. Stop focusing on things you can't control. So the question becomes, where is your energy leaking? Where is your energy leaking? Are you focusing on something that you can't really control? Let's be real, friends. Let's be real. Energy leaks look like this. You replay in your head conversation you can't redo. Something that already passed. You replay it in your head over and over and over again. Why are you wasting your time on that? You try to get closure from people who don't even have a capacity. You try to make someone see your value. Why? That is not in your control. You try to win arguments in your head. Your head has become a cinema of, it has become a law court. You stalk someone's life online and call it healing. You keep checking for results you can't speed up. Why? Instead of you focusing on the things you can control, you are dissipating your energy on the things you can't control. I just talked about the two lists. Which list are you dissipating your energy on? That's energy leakage. When you're dissipating your energy on the second list, that second list is all full of stuff you can't control. I am only responsible for the things I can control. I am not responsible for what I can't control. That is the overachiever mindset. That is the mindset of an overachiever. Let me speak to the person who feels misunderstood here. Let me talk to your spirit. See, you're trying your best, but someone interprets your silence as weakness, your focus as arrogance, your boundaries as hatred, your growth as betrayal. And you keep trying to explain yourself into being respected. Listen, you cannot control being understood. You can't. You can control being consistent. That is what you will do. You cannot control rumors. You can control integrity. Some of you have exhausted, as in you are very much exhausted because you're trying to win a court case in the minds of people who already sentenced you. That's not your assignment. That's not your task. Your assignment is to be who you are and let time prove you. Your assignment is not to win the case in people's minds. It's just to be who you are. Flavie Berry, hello, thanks for joining. You can't control the storm, my friends. You can't. But you can control your circle. You can control your circle. You can't control the storm. Your circle is your money routine, your words, your priorities, your calendar, your sleep, your health, your prayer, your boundaries, your consistency. These things you can control. See, if you don't control your circle, the storm will control your life. Thank you so much, Flavie Berry. If you don't control your circle, the storm will control your life. So the daily prayer becomes, God, help me focus on what you gave me to manage. Help me focus on the things I can control. Help, help me remove my energy from those things that dissipate my energy, from those things I can't control, from the outcomes. Help me focus on things like my health, my sleep, my prayer, my boundaries, my consistencies. I don't want to focus on winning a case or winning a battle in somebody's mind that have already sentenced me. I don't have control over that. Let me focus on being me so that time will vindicate me. That should be your prayer. I as always on this channel, I try to do what I call the overachiever's operating system. If you're used to PCs, you're used to operating system, right? The overachiever's operating system. Number one, control your input. What you watch, what you listen to, what have access to your mind. Because your mind is a garden and input are seeds. Control your input. Number two, control your routines. Your mornings, your nights, your movements, your reading, your quiet time. Control them. Number three, control your response. You can't control what happens. That's what I've been saying. You can't control the outcome, but you can control what you do next. Control your response. Now, before I go deeper, I want you to hit the home life, because see, controls becomes issues that show up at home too. Let me go somewhere personal again. I've had some personal talks on this live. Let me do something personal again, because the control issue doesn't only show up at work, it also shows up at home. It shows up when you're physically present but emotionally absent, because your mind is still trying to control tomorrow. There was a time I was carrying pressure like it was normal. You know what adult pressure, that adult pressure where you're trying to keep everything running, making sure bills are good, making sure the future is planned, making sure nothing falls apart. I remember this night, dinner table, normal moment, no drama, no drama. Food is there, people are talking. The kind of moment you don't think is important until it's gone. But I wasn't really there. I was nodding, but I was not listening. I was smiling, but my mind was somewhere else. In my head, I'm thinking, how am I going to handle this? What if the timing is off? What if I make the wrong move? What if I'm not doing enough? I was there on the dining table, but these thoughts were playing in my head. And someone I love said something small, just a comment. But because I was stressed, I snapped. Not yelling though, but that sharp tone, that edge. The room got quiet. That silence is so loud. So loud. And in that moment, I saw it. I wasn't reacting to what happened at the table. I was reacting to what was happening in my mind, what was playing in my head. I had brought the weight of what I couldn't control into a moment that deserved peace. And I remember thinking, is this what my family gets? The leftovers of me? Work was getting the best of me. Stress was getting the best of me. Fear was getting the best of me. And the people I love were getting the version of me that was tired and tense, that was on the edge, that was snappy. Later, I had to sit with myself and I had to admit a lot of my stress wasn't even about reality. It was about control. Trying to control outcomes, trying to control how people see me, trying to control how people take me, trying to control results that have not even happened, trying to control conversations I had in the past, trying to control the past. Oh, thank you so much, Flavie Berry. A lot of my stress was not about reality, it was about control. And that is what a lot of us go through. We're trying to control outcomes. We're trying to control what's going to happen tomorrow. We're trying to control timing. We're trying to control the future. When your focus should be on the things you can control now, not the things you can't control. And because I couldn't control it, I spilled the frustration onto the wrong people. That night I made a decision. I will not punish my present for a future I cannot control. I will not punish my present for a future I cannot control. Because see, some of you are punishing your marriages. You're punishing your kids. You're punishing your friendships. Not because you don't love them. Oh, you love them. But because you don't know how to release what you can't control. So I started practicing something very simple. Before I walk into my home, I'll say things like, what can I control right now? I can control my tone. I can control my presence. I can control my attention. I can control my tenderness. I can control my patience. And I can't control tomorrow's problem, so I let it slide. So I began treating my home like a sacred place. Not perfect, but protected. Protected from me being on the edge. Protected from me bringing the weight of things I can't control into the house. Because an overachiever doesn't just achieve at work. An overachiever achieves at being whole. An overachiever also achieves at home. Let's talk about that a little bit. Protecting your home and your mind. Let's talk about that. Because see, you can achieve externally, but still fail internally. Some of you are trying to control people's capacity in relationship. You can't. But you can control your clarity. You can control what you tolerate. You can control what you communicate. You can control what you require. You can control what you allow to continue. Boundaries are not punishment, my friend. Boundaries are protection. Boundaries are protection. What about money stress, money pressure? See, money stress hits it hits dignity. You can't control inflation. You can't control the economy. But you can control your budget. You can control your spending discipline, your spending habits. You can control your learning skills. You can control building extra income. You can control your pride, asking for help. You can control planning. You can control consistency. But the budget, the banking, the lending rate, you can't control. The economy, you can't control. Some of you are praying for financial breakthrough, but your breakthrough is going to come through structure. It's not going to come through vibes. It's not going to come through hope. It will only come through structure. Let's do this right now. Let's do this. Think about your biggest stressor. Question number 1. What am I trying to control that I cannot control? Think about that for a moment. What am I trying to control that is not mine to control? Is it the outcomes? Is it the financial lending rate? Is it inflation? What am I trying to control that is not mine to control? Question number 2. What am I avoiding that I can control? My spending habits? My shopping habits? my being on the edge. See, because sometimes stress isn't the problem. It is avoidance that is the problem. It is a conversation you won't have, the plan you won't write down, the habit you won't break, the doctor appointment you keep postponing, the boundary you refuse to set. Avoidance feels safe sometimes, but it changes. See, if you keep on avoiding things, it will charge you interest when it comes. It will come with interest. It will charge you. Let me tell you about a time I learned that. There was a season where I knew I needed to make a call. Not a casual call. One of those calls that could change things. The kind you rehearse in your head. I needed to address something. And the longer I waited, the heavier it got. I kept putting it off. I kept putting off the call. Not today. I'll do it when I'm calmer. I'll do it when the timing is right. I'll do it because I was putting it off because I never wanted conflict. But the truth was that I was afraid. Not afraid of the call. I was afraid of what I couldn't control after the call. Because, see, once you speak up, you can't control how people respond. They might understand, they might get defensive, they might say no, they might not even care, they might even walk out. And I realized I was trying to control the outcome, so I avoided the action. But avoidance doesn't remove the problem, it removes your power. I remember pacing, phone in hand, like the answer would appear on the floor, it would come through the door. But then I felt this thought: control what you can control. And in that moment, what I could control was just my courage. See, friends, courage is controllable. So what did I do? I sat down, I breathed, and I made a call. I said what I needed to say, respectfully, clear, firm. And they didn't respond how I wanted them to respond. That's the part people fear. But here's what happened. I slept that night. Because even though I couldn't control their response, I controlled my integrity. And I learned something that day. Peace doesn't come from perfect outcomes. No. Peace comes from knowing you didn't betray yourself. You can go to bed, sleep in peace. I haven't done your part. The other part, the reaction, is not yours to control. So don't think about it. Don't let that cripple you with fear. Some of you are stressed because you keep betraying your own clarity. You keep saying later. And later becomes months, and months becomes years. Man, I'll start this thing later. I'll take this course later. I'll start this job later. I'll talk to people later. Later becomes months, months become years. And one day you wake up and realize that you've been living in a cage with the door unlocked. The door has been unlocked. You even have the keys. The door has been unlocked, but you've been living in a cage. The door is your action. The key is your courage. Overachievers don't wait for comfort. They don't wait for comfort. They do what's right, even when it's hard. If you want to be an overachiever, friend, or even just an achiever, do what is right, whether it's hard or not. Do what is right. Somebody watching me right now, you know the call you need to make. You know the boundary you need to set. You know the decision you need to make. Stop trying to control the outcome. That is not yours to control. How they react to it, how somebody reacts to it after you make the call, that shouldn't be your problem. Start controlling your obedience to what you already know. Don't control outcomes, control actions. Don't control timing, control preparation. Don't control applause, control excellence. Don't control who stays, control who I become. Don't control the storm, control my circle, your circle. Don't control feelings, control your next move. Dreamers negotiate with life. Overachievers decide and move on. Which side are you on? So let me talk to the person who feels late. I've always had this conversation on this live. Somebody comes by and say, hey Matt, I wish I knew this stuff 10 years ago. I wish I knew this stuff 5 years ago. Now I'm late. Let me talk to that person who feels late. You look back and think, if I started earlier, if I knew then what I know now, you can't control the years you lost. But you can control the years you have left. All right, thank you so much, Flavie Berry. I appreciate that. You can control the years you have left. Consistency makes time respect you again. Consistency makes time respect you again. Stop worshiping the past. Extract the lesson. Extract the lesson. Stop worshiping the past. Let go of the past. Learn what you have to learn from there and move on. Don't waste tomorrow and today grieving yesterday. Yesterday is gone. It's now in the past. You can't control it anymore. Focus on what you can control. Don't dissipate your energy on what you can control. All right. As usual on this channel, we're not just talking. We always give steps. So here are some steps for you. I call it steps to become. For me, I always break things into chunks that are manageable. So this will be 7-day control reset. Day number 1, write your 3 top stressors. 3 things that stresses you more. Day number 2, kind of split them. Split them into, can I control this? Or things I can control and things I cannot control. Let's call it controllable versus uncontrollable. Choose one controllable, one action for each. So one controllable action for each. That's day 3. On day 4, remove one energy leak, one habit, one person, one app, one obsession, one energy leak from each. Day 5, build a 30-minute daily discipline block. Day 6, have the conversation you've been avoiding. And day 7, review, adjust, repeat. If you can do this in 7-day block, you'll be able to free your space, free your mind of a lot of things that you're holding on that you shouldn't be holding on to. What are you not supposed to be controlling that you're trying to control, my friends? Your mind should be moving on from just thinking to execution. See, if you are new here, subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Kindly share, kindly like this live. Because here we don't entertain, we transform. Let me close with this. Some of you have been hard on yourself. You're calling yourself lazy. You're calling yourself broken. You're calling yourself inconsistent. But the truth is, you've been trying to carry the wrong weight. You've been trying to control what belongs to God, what belongs to time, what belongs to other people. Tonight, breathe again. Because you have power. You can control your next step, your next habit, your next hour. And when you control your days will control your destiny. That is very important. When you control your days will control your destiny. You know what, friends? I believe in you. I believe in what you can do. So go take your power back. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for the support. Thank you for watching our channel. Please let us know your thoughts. Please, if you did not subscribe, kindly hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and share these videos. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you guys later at night. Hey, Stick, thanks for joining. Gotta go now. I'll be on the live later at night. Thank you. You have a nice day. Peace.